Ooh, a stand-up comedy film? Well, no, it's a hell of a lot more than that. So let's have a chat about Is This Thing On? G'day, it's Adam here again with another quick instant movie review for you. So last night I caught Is This Thing On? This is an American comedy drama film directed by Bradley Cooper, who also co-wrote and stars in this. He co-wrote the screenplay with Will Arnett and Mark Chappell. What is this all about? Well, it's loosed basically on the life of English comedian John Bishop and how he got about getting into stand-up comedy. Basically, it tells the story of Alex, played by Will Arnett, and Tess, played by Laura Dern, who have reached an amicable end to their marriage, thus beginning the really awkward stages of trying to figure out how to live a separate life while raising their two young boys, Felix and Jude, and also maintaining their friendships. So after they split, Alex kind of finds himself in a bit of a weird spot. He decides to go one night down to this olive tree cafe, and he doesn't have enough money to pay for the cover charge. So he ends up putting his name down to do stand-up comic work, I suppose, or a routine. And he basically starts to open up. He doesn't know what he's doing. He gets up there in front of the microphone and he basically opens with, I think I'm getting a divorce, but I'm not 100% sure. Rah, rah. And his routine of that awkward guy who's sort of telling his problems up on stage that could be seen as a therapy session basically turns into that. And people are really enjoy hearing about his slightly miserable, slightly bizarre situation that he's in and how he's sort of working through it. And that becomes his shtick that he ends up putting up on stage. He starts to find out that some people hit drinks, some people, hit, drugs or whatever else, to combat this misery. But the way that Alex deals with it is he tells his story out to a big crowd and they're all really enjoying it. So he starts to fall in with this little comedic group of people, these fellow stand-ups. He has a bit of a fling with Jill, who's a fellow, comic there at the club. And then you've got Jess, played by Laura Dern, who is starting to, now she's got this newfound freedom, starts to go, I'm going to get back into my my volleyball. I used to be an Olympic champion in the sport. I'm going to come back and do some coaching and rah, rah, rah. So she starts to refine her life a little bit while Alex starts to find this new lease on life through stand-up comedy, and then how they navigate their marriage with their kids, with their friends. It's that kind of film. It's not overly funny. I don't think it's supposed to be funny. It's kind of an awkward comedy, I think, of anything. But Will Arnett he's just one of those guys that's done so much voice work, and his voice has become so iconic with the Batman Lego movie and with a lot more of his turns that he's done more on television, that we haven't seen him that much on film, and certainly taking a lead role in something. I just thought he was absolutely fantastic in this film. Really vulnerable, really relatable, really really a guy that you can invest in and just go, wow, you're really putting yourself out there, giving it a big go. Jess was originally supposed to be played by Emily Blunt, but she had to pull out because she ended up doing Disclosure Day with Steven Spielberg. Is really great in this film. She is this really interesting energy of someone who's, getting quite old, but has this really youthful energy. So I think she captures her character extremely well. Someone who, is sick of hitting the skids and thinks that she might want to revert back. But then in the same instance, wants her husband to see her for who she is now rather than who she was. So it's a really interesting dynamic that she has to play as this character. Whereas Alex is just a little bit depressed but the interesting thing I think about this film is that we come into Alex's life, but we don't get enough about the reason why he's so depressed. We don't really have this gamut because he has a great relationship with his kids. He has from what we can see, that kind of is the thing. We don't know anything about his work, so we don't know how much he's invested in his work. We basically come into the movie with these two people saying that's it. I think that's the end of that, and not really getting an idea upon why. So it's an interesting way in, and as we go along, we discover probably more about the relationship and the relationship problems that their friends are having. One of them played by Bradley Cooper, with a great character called Balls, I think that's his name. Really great, and Bradley Cooper is really entertaining in this film. He's almost the comic relief, really, and also with a bit of heart. So I really did enjoy that. I just thought this was a really interesting character study, but again, not knowing enough probably about the character. A little bit more about him is found out through his stand-up routines about possibly what happened and where their communication points kind of stopped, what made them unhappy. So, but we don't know enough about them, especially Alex's character, enough about him to sort of completely go, wow, that's where it all fell apart. So it's an interesting kind of examination without being fully examined, if that makes any sense. The score in this is really interesting. I loved the use of jazz, the use of in these heightened moments during the times that Alex is with his parents, which always seems to be really heightened, really full on. So I love that. I think the use of music in this is used extremely well. So and the camera work as well is really, really great. So Bradley Cooper has gone for a real documentary feel with this, so it's not as showy as his previous films. So all in all, I really did enjoy Is This Thing On? I didn't think I was going to, and I don't know anything about John Bishop, to be honest with you, as an English comedian. I know he's very popular, but I don't really know his work. So for me, I went in completely cold, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was the least showy Bradley Cooper film that I've seen in a long time. I thought Will Arnett was absolutely fantastic. I love Laura Dern. I thought she was phenomenal. So I really enjoyed watching these people up on screen do their craft and do their work. And I thought it was really good. I'd probably go 7 out of 10 for Is This Thing On? So yeah, I recommend you definitely see it. And it's great to see it up on the big screen, as all things are. That is it for me. Have you got a favorite stand-up comedian? Or maybe a stand-up comedian who has ventured into the world of film and has done a good job at it? Comment below, let me know. Maybe it's Eddie Murphy. Maybe you like his work, or potentially it's a Richard Pryor thing, or maybe it's a Michael Keaton thing. I'm not sure. Comment below, let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I look forward to catching up with you all next time here in my car. Goodbye.